Here we are speaking of this man E. Calloway, who has this theory that Florida is the biblical, that a place in Florida is a biblical Garden of Eden and the place where Noah started building his boat. Check this. Earth scientists mapping the United States at considerable depth have located the suture between North America and an African fragment named Florida that was left behind when the two continents parted 190 million years ago. According to two papers to be published in geology, this connecting seam, which runs roughly east-southeast beneath southern Georgia, probably first formed 300 million years ago, when the drifting African and North American continents collided to form the subcontinent Pangaea, says Douglas Nelson, an associate researcher for the Consortium for Continental Reflection Profiling, COCORP, at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. Because Florida's oldest rocks and fossils more closely resemble those of Africa than those of the rest of the United States, earth scientists have long suspected that Florida might have once been part of Africa. But no one knew until now exactly where the fragment's geologic boundaries was. Using a sonar-like technique called seismic reflection profiling, Nelson and his colleagues have detected the suture and mapped its course beneath the sedimentary layers of Georgia's coastal plain. The 68-kilometer wide wedge-shaped suture ranges from 5 to 35 kilometers deep and is inclined 15 to 25 degrees towards the south. Because the sutures run beneath the Brunswick magnetic anomaly area, and that's an area where the Earth's magnetic fields are usually weak, researchers hope that other magnetic anomalies will also turn out to indicate crustal plate boundaries and other important geologic structures. Because the suture is deeper than most wells are drilled, its exact composition is unknown. However, Nelson says it is probably made up of debris accumulated when the two crustal plates collided head-on, forcing one plate beneath the other. Sediments on top of the diving plate would be scraped up onto the leading edge of the overriding plate, he says. And if you really look at it, this blows the 6,000-year theory to hell. So, you are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. And before we go into part 3, I want you to know this is the wisdom of Noel, or Noel, S-N-O-E-L. And we splice that word. N-O stands for Noah, and E-L is elder. So this is the wisdom of Noah the elder, being that my work is to contact the elliptical orb ship Nibiru. So this is the story of this time, like Noah was in that time. Back in the 80s, we were in the middle of the makings of the Master Blaster Jamming. So, same as Noah was building his ark. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself. At this time, we call it the Master Blaster Jamming. Stay tuned for part 3.